The Legend of Boggy Creek was directed by Charles B. Pierce and first released in 1972. It is a documentary-style horror film about a Bigfoot-like monster that had been spotted near the town of Folk, Arkansas on numerous occasions beginning in the 1950s. The film is said to be based on actual events featuring interviews with local residents who claim to have witnessed the monster firsthand. This is one of the earliest examples of a docudrama where the filmmaker uses dramatic reenactments of supposed actual events to tell the story. The technique is widely used today, but it was relatively new for its time. As such, the plot has more to do with a collection of short vignettes told by local residents who claim to have either witnessed or interacted with the monster at some point in time. At first, the interactions are subtle, but as the film progresses, the monster grows more aggressive, culminating with a particularly creepy sequence toward the end where it attacks a home rented by a group of friends who are forced to fight for survival. This was director Charles Pierce's first film. Prior to filmmaking, he was an advertising salesman. He became fascinated when he heard stories about the folk monster and decided to make a movie about it. The film was done on a budget of $160,000, mostly funded by an investment from a local trucking company. The film went on to be a hit and found success, especially in the drive-in circuit. The poster art for the film was done by Ralph McQuarrie, who would later go on to do the concept artwork for Star Wars. Many believe that it was this artwork, along with the strong word of mouth, that led to the film's success, and I can see why. The depiction of the folk monster in McQuarrie's artwork gives it just enough detail to make it creepy and maintain a sense of mystery, and the background colors create an atmosphere that's perfect for the eerie subject matter. So the moral of the story is, if you're an unknown filmmaker in the 70s looking to sell your concept, hire Ralph McQuarrie to do your artwork. Now, personally, I have no history with this film, and I just recently discovered it. A few weeks back, I did a review video for the documentary film At the Drive-In about the Mahoning Drive-In. Now, this is a drive-in theater in eastern Pennsylvania that operates strictly as a retro theater showing 35mm prints of classic films. I was introduced to this movie, The Legend of Boggy Creek, through their podcast, where they interviewed the director's daughter, Pamela Bierce-Park-Lew, who has been working extensively to preserve the film and restore it to Blu-ray and 4K versions. Now, I am a big Bigfoot nut. I love the lore surrounding Bigfoot and other cryptids. So when I learned about this film through the Mahoning Drive-In's podcast, I decided to check it out. I'll leave a link in the notes below to their podcast if you'd like to have a listen. It's fascinating stuff and I highly recommend it. I am glad I discovered this film. It's hard to pull off a good monster movie, especially in the era this film was made and with such a small budget. But Pierce was smart by keeping the monster hidden and teasing its presence throughout the story, allowing it to be seen only in shadows and appearing in brief spurts for a majority of its scenes. This makes the moment when it actually does appear in full view feel more shocking and impactful. And aside from the creature aspects of the story, the film also serves as a snapshot into the time and place where it was made. It was filmed in and around Folk, Arkansas, where the original sightings and encounters were said to have occurred. So this gives it a sort of time capsule effect where we get to meet and see the people who actually lived there in the setting they inhabited. The towns and forests and swamps of Boggy Creek are on full display, giving it a sense of authenticity that I enjoy quite a bit. Have you seen The Legend of Boggy Creek? Are you a fan of Bigfoot lore? Do you have any recommendations for similar films? If so, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for taking the time to watch, and until the next time, have a good one.